So your conscious critical faculty is there to filter out the information that tells you that things aren't going to work for you. It's kind of like when I introduce stuff like belief work, or let's say like a routine in the morning. A lot of people have that initial thought of, this isn't going to work for me. So, expectations to fail. So nobody wants to expect that things aren't going to work out for them, right? But something that I always notice within my clients is the fact that we usually have the expectation that things aren't going to work out. So if we're looking at the way that we were raised and the way that the school system works, a lot of it is focused on probability. So we are usually focused on the probability of something happening instead of the possibility of something happening. And we have this filter in our brain called the conscious critical faculty. And essentially, it is a filter in your brain that tells you that if you believe that something is not going to work for you, it's not going to work for you. And that's because you have that filter that takes your past experiences and your beliefs and applies them to the current reality, the current situation. Because we all know that the brain is just perpetually trying to keep you safe. It's always trying to keep you on your toes and away from danger. So if you have something that is introduced into your orbit and you haven't ever heard of it before, or you don't believe in the concepts around it. For example, if you came into the online space and knew nothing about the law of attraction or spirituality or the universe or any of that stuff, the first time you hear about it, you're kind of like, okay, that's kind of bullshit, or that was definitely my experience coming into the online space, was very much so like, I don't believe in any of this stuff. I'm more science-based, more logical-based, right? But the conscious critical faculty is something that comes into play, especially when you're introducing new thoughts, new concepts to it. So something that I help my clients with. So your conscious critical faculty is there to filter out the information that tells you that things aren't going to work for you. It's kind of like when I introduce stuff like belief work, or let's say like a routine in the morning. A lot of people have that initial thought of, this isn't going to work for me. You probably see coaches talking about their programs or whatever and the concepts within the programs, and you're thinking, that's not going to work for me. But the direct reason as to why you feel it's not going to work for you is because of your past experiences and the current beliefs that you hold. And if you shift your belief system to suit the next level version of you, you are actually able to look at things differently. And it's kind of like when it comes to selling, you know how like people need to see something a bunch of different times. The hack in terms of that is because when something comes into your awareness more and more and more, you are able to actually see the possibility of it integrating into your life. And that's why it's so important to continue with the thought work and the mindset work. It's not enough to just be like, I'm going to think a new thought and that's it. You have to consistently come back to it. And that's because your brain creates neural pathways, and your neural pathways are, so think of your brain like a computer, right? So it has these programs and these things that it's so used to doing and thinking and being that it's just automatic, because the brain is very lazy and it doesn't want to work any harder than it needs to be working. So it creates a program. So when you react to something like in a really abrupt reactive way, it's because your brain is reacting to it as it's used to reacting to it.